Welcome to my channel. Hope everyone's having a wonderful holiday season. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my first reactions to using the Army Painter Speed Paint range. Why now? What I learned on the first go about reactivation, blending, mixing, how to do certain effects, highlighting, the amount of time, and how some of the colors reacted on the model. Plus, you'll learn how to paint Cad Bane from Star Wars Legion. So why now? I know I'm late to the party. This product's been out since I believe February 2022, and it's about 10 months ago. So why am I so late to the party? When the product first dropped, it was marketed as a one product use to do your base coat, shading, and highlighting all in one. Almost like a magic product to get your models on the table faster. And it was the second or maybe third in the line of these types of paints. GW's Contrast mainly being the first one. And frankly, I didn't really like how that looked. I saw some videos. It was kind of just blotchy, didn't cover very well, and I didn't really think it was worth spending the money on this kind of paint. So fast forward till now, we had some good Black Friday deals and I picked up the box super cheap. So I said, hey, you know what? Let me try it out and see what I think. Overall, I'm pretty impressed. I do believe, however, that the highlighting aspect of it is somewhat lacking. I think it does a really good job of putting down your mid-tone and creating shadows on the model, depending on the surface. So in this model here, there's a lot of texture, there's not a ton of flat surfaces, and there's a perfect type of product to get this miniature painted up quickly to a good standard. Let's talk about undercoating your model or underpainting. How you prep your model will drastically affect how these speed paints look contrast based. Any type of transparent paint, whether it be inks or just transparent acrylic paints. Let's talk about what you need to do to base your model. I primed Cad Bane with black and then used a light gray primer from above to kind of give it a nice misting. The hat here I actually just did all in light gray. The first paint I used on Cad Bane is dark wood. It covered really nicely and was perfect for the dark leather areas. For the hat, I'm mixing dark wood with hardened leather. I didn't want to be too light with this, so I put a little mix together and I'm experimenting a bit. One thing I did notice is that if the paint is too thin, it doesn't cover very well and it just gets all smeary looking instead of being able to like glaze it. If it's too thick, it just glops everywhere. So you really want to have that middle ground consistency with it. Make sure you have enough on the brush and not too much on the brush. For the upper part of the model, I'm adding more hardened leather and I'm adding a little bit of the speed paint medium, because I want the top of the model to look a little bit lighter. So between the zenithal priming and thinning the paint a little bit, it blends together really nicely here. And I actually think on the left arm it was a little bit too dark. So in the next couple minutes you'll see me actually using the reactivation to take the paint off and then to put this consistency back over it to make it a little bit more realistic. Here I added water to my brush and I'm clearing off the paint that dried. You can see that the white primer is now showing. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Now we're moving back onto the hat. The hat is a flat surface, so it's a little bit more tricky to use this paint. And initially I'm putting it on and it's just looking all smeary and I really don't like it. So I decided to load up the brush more and put a thick coat on and to see how it settled out and how it would dry. Sorry if it's so out of focus, I didn't realize it was focused on Cad Bane at this point. Here I'm going to take the blue out. It's magic blue, I believe, and it covers really nice. It's really bright, really poppy. I think it's a really, really easy way to paint this kind of face on Cad Bane. It was the perfect color for it, and it was really, really colorful. In this section, I'll be using Hive Dweller Purple to paint his gauntlets. Out of all of the other colors that I used here, I didn't like this one as much, but it was okay. I think the best was the dark wood that covered really, really nicely and was perfect for leather. This color is okay. Maybe on a different type of surface, different model, it might look better. Here I'm using Grim Black for some of the small details, and this paint color actually has a little bit of a kind of like a greenish hue to it compared to some of the other blacks that I've used, specifically Vallejo's black ink. Side-by-side comparison, it's a little bit kind of greenish, so just be aware of it. If you're looking for maybe more of a cooler color, you may want to mix it with blue ink or one of the other blue speed paints. Runic Gray is the bluish gray of this paint line, and it's one of the colors that I really enjoyed using on the pistols here, kind of giving it a little bit of a non-metallic look. And in the final photos, you'll see I did some highlighting with a acrylic silver gray, and I think it came out really good, and it was very, very easy to do. One thing to note, I did thin this a little bit with the medium. Overall, this model took me about 30 to 45 minutes to complete. After I used the speed paint, I went in and I used the silver gray to highlight some of the other areas of the model and to tie everything together. So for this amount of time and this result, I think it's a really, really good tool to add to your arsenal.